Happy 50th Anniversary Association of Black Women Lawyers. My name is Paulette Brown, and I was the sixth president of the ABWL. My term was from 1985 through 1987. I had the pleasure of serving as president during our 10th anniversary celebration, and oh, what a time it was. We celebrated at the Newark Museum, and we were having such a grand time that people just did not want to leave, but they had to because the alarm system was about to go on. It was indeed a good time, but it was also a time when we were discovering ourselves and discovering the relevance of being a black woman lawyer in New Jersey, living what our founders dreamed about. One of the major things that I am so proud of is the fact that during my term, the Minorities in the Profession Task Force was created. It was because of the Honorable James Coleman, who was on the Supreme Court of New Jersey at the time. They had been a women's task force, and he thought it would be all too proper to also have a minority task force, and so the task force was formed. And as president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey, I had an opportunity to serve on that task force. I'm pleased to say that during the time that I was president and during that initial days of the task force, we were able to get records and data to show where there were lack of opportunities for people of color in the judiciary and make efforts to improve that. And I'm very pleased to say that the legacy lives on, that that office still exists. It exists under a different name, but it still continues to look at the opportunities or lack thereof for people of color in the judiciary system. It is also important now that we keep an eye on this during these challenging and troubled times. But I'm so happy to be a part of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. Happy that as a third-year law student, I was able to sit at the knee of our founders at the Colonnades, the home of Renee Jones Weeks, and I look forward for all of you young people for another 50 years of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. Congratulations, well done.
Greetings and happy 50th anniversary to the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. My name is Andrea Johnson, and I am the 5th president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey, and I served from 1983 to 1985. It was a wonderful time. My highlight, as I look back, is the program, The Youth and the Law, which I carried through my service as a result of prior presidents who started it. We went to schools, we talked to young people who learned about the law, who learned about their rights and the things that they needed to know, even in those times. I also celebrate the fact that during my tenure, there were 2 African American women appointed to Hudson County and Essex County as Superior Court judges, the Honorable Shirley Tolentino and the Honorable Betty Lester. We had the pleasure of celebrating them, supporting them, and enabling them to establish their true legacy as leaders in the African American and the New Jersey community. For that, I'm grateful to have known them and to have been able to honor them during my tenure. And I wish the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey a happy 50th, and may the legacy of service continue. Thank you.
For me, what ABWL represents is a support, a sisterhood, and encouragement. I hope we have encouraged young black women to become attorneys, and those who are in the practice. I hope that we have encouraged them to stay in the practice. It's an opportunity to learn about different areas of practice and how to get to where you want to be. So more than anything, I think the importance of the organization is the support that we give to Black women lawyers. I was the 23rd president. My term was 2014 to 2015. And it was the first time in a very long time that we did not have the jazz brunch, because we wanted to focus our efforts on making the 40th anniversary gala really fabulous. And it was. So I'm very happy about that. I'm very proud about that. I'm very happy and proud about our continued legacy of giving financial support to young law students and emotional and professional support to other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Carolyn V. Chang. I was the 26th president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. My term of presidency was 2017 to 2018. And my goal when I was president was to ensure that the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey developed a strong and lasting relationship with elected officials. I wanted that as an elected official at the time. I was the mayor of my town here in West Hampton, and I felt that the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey, as well as the Garden State Bar Association, needed to develop a strong relationship with elected officials in order to get things done for our community. I remember really, really well the late Senator Ronald Rice, who attended my swearing in for ABWL. He was a very important person to me, and at that time he was the chair of the Legislative Black Caucus here in New Jersey. I worked on developing a strong relationship with our elected officials that lasts until today. I also became the chair of the Social Justice Committee for ABWL and the chair of the joint ABWL and GSBA JPAC. One of the legacy that I'm really, really proud of is being able to analyze legislation with the Legislative Black Caucus to ensure that legislation benefited our communities. I'm also really proud of the work that we've done as the joint ABWL and GSBA JPAC in terms of vetting and supporting candidates to become judges on the Superior Court, on the Supreme Court, and chief prosecutors here in New Jersey. It is my hope that the joint ABWL and GSBA JPAC will continue the work that we've done. So far, we have worked on more than 20 candidates who have become judges or prosecutors. So I'm really, really proud of that. And I hope that ABWL will continue that work to ensure that the bench and the prosecutor's office is as diverse as the state of New Jersey.
My name is Jennifer Downing Mathis, and I served as president during the 2021-2022 term, which makes me the 30th president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. My theme was amazing, bold women leaders and change makers, because I think that it's important for the generations to follow to make sure that they reach back and make sure that they mentor and make change for the lawyers that are coming behind us, as well as for the community. The reason why an organization like the Association of Black Women Lawyers is important is because it serves as a support group specifically for us. And I joined actually as a law clerk when I served for the Honorable Paulette Peterson way back in the late 90s. I came to meetings with her, and I saw the importance of networking with a group of like-minded women and having that support group that when you go through something, especially in the area of law, having a group of women that you can talk to and depend on and that can understand different issues that you're going through and support you and not judge you. I was also proud of what the women do as an organization for each other and for the community.
My name is Geraldine Uri, and I was the 24th president of this wonderful organization. My term was from 2015 to 2016, and I remember that because I have a bracelet that reminds me of those years. During my term, we focused on membership. We increased the membership to over 100 members. We also created the Young Lawyers Committee, it's now the Young Lawyers Division, to get younger lawyers involved, more involved in our association. We also created liaisons at the various law schools in New Jersey as another way to get law students involved in our organization.
one of the highlights was getting sworn in at our 40th anniversary gala. So that made it very memorable for me. In addition, another thing that we did was we partnered with the Hispanic Bar Association, and some of our members were sworn in to the Supreme Court. And we had a chance to meet Justice Sotomayor, and then afterwards many of us had lunch with Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman. So that was one of the highlights of my term. In addition, we worked closely with the Black Legislative Caucus. We participated in many of their programs, as well as reconnected with New Jersey Black Issues Convention, as well as the African American Chamber of Commerce. So we tried to create new partnerships for the organization. Held a workshop with then U.S. Attorney Fishman at that time. One of the major things we focused on were partnerships, and I think that is one thing that's very important for the Association of Black Women Lawyers as we continue to the future, creating partnerships with various organizations that share our same mission and our same purpose, as well as continuing to grow our membership. A Black women's lawyers organization is so important, especially for young lawyers starting out. It's important that you have mentors and that people who have been in the trenches that can show you the ropes. So I think it's important that we continue to grow, continue to partner with other organizations, and continue to, of course, raise funds for scholarship, because many of our people can't afford to go to law school because it's so expensive. So therefore, I think scholarship always has to be something that's important to us.
Hi, I'm Deisha Jackson. I'm president number 15. I was president in 2003 to 2005. That was back when we had 2-year terms. During my presidency, we did a lot. I believe that I was able to bring some attention from the governor, and the attorney general at the time was Peter Harvey. The governor was Jim McGreevey, and we also had John Corzine attend some of our events. So I was able to make those connections for the organization. We also started the fashion show during my presidency. I had it up in North Jersey. We didn't have a lot to do it with, but we got it done. We also renewed our logo during the time that I was presidency. So the logo that we have, now is a logo we picked then. We started the Past Presidents Council when I was president as well. There's so many things that we did during my presidency that I'm proud of and that are still going today. I know that the fashion show went on for a while, and it's not going on now, but it became a cancer fashion show, which I'm very happy that people took it and ran with it. I believe when you are a leader, you should have a vision and a purpose and a plan. And it may be to bring in 2 or 3 things, or to, make a difference in one big area. And I think that our presidents that we've had, a lot of us have been able to do that at the time that we were president, and hoping that we do create legacies from what we actually did. And I believe that I did that during my time. As for the future, I would hope that the Association of Black Women Lawyers will keep helping Black people, Black female lawyers, children, helping the community to know about them and to help them do what's good for them in the community as well as ourselves. It's important for us to be judges. It's important for us to be seen. It's important for us to get jobs. All these things are always going to be issues for the Association of Black Women Lawyers, giving back to the community, making sure our children are taken care of, talking about every area of law, from elder law to criminal law to employment law. We need to be seen and heard. We need to make a difference, not only in our lives, but in everybody else's lives. So I'm grateful to have had an opportunity to do that.
My name is Deidre Webster Cobb, and I was the 11th president of ABWL. I served from 1995 until 1997. During my presidency, we faced several issues. One was membership that was faltering at the time, and we were trying to figure out how we could reach African American women from throughout the state and encourage them to join our organization. At that time, we even considered possibly joining the NBA or the National Association of Black Women Attorneys, but we decided that ABWL was a unique organization And the fact that it was a local organization that reached women from throughout the state was significant. So we decided that the best option would be just to increase our efforts to improve our membership. In terms of my legacy, I would say that my legacy is the jazz brunch. That was an event that I began actually during my vice presidency under Wanda Douglas Thigpen, and then I continued it throughout my years as president, and it still exists today. In terms of the future, I would like to see ABWL continue to provide support to young African American women who would like to pursue a career in the law. That is the assistance that we can provide through mentoring, through scholarship, and other support. I also think it's important that we continue to provide education to our community. There are so many underrepresented groups that don't have knowledge of their rights and things that they could do to improve their circumstances. So I really think that our Law Day programs are very important to get the word out to the community.
My name is Sharice Marie Penelver, and I served as ABWL New Jersey's 19th president from 2010 to 2011. And I am not an original resident of New Jersey. I actually was born and raised in New York, went to law school in Connecticut, and then relocated to New Jersey. So it was a new experience for me in terms of meeting all of the women who preceded me. I clerked for the Honorable Francis S. Antonin in Hudson County Superior Court from 1990 through 1991. And through her, because she was a lifelong New Jersey resident, I had an opportunity to meet a lot of women who were really at the forefront of the legal profession. The Honorable Shirley S. Tolentino was a good friend of Judge Antonin's, and they had both grown up in Jersey City. So I had an opportunity to clerk with Judge Antonin, but then spend a lot of time in Judge Tolentino's courtroom as well. And then after my clerkship, I went and worked in New Jersey for a little bit, but then being a native of New York, I found my way back to New York. I worked at a couple of firms there before I ultimately determined to make New Jersey my adult home. So I relocated first to Jersey City for a moment, and then I moved south, and I was in Willingboro, moved back to New York for a short while, and then subsequently settled in Willingboro for approximately 20 years. The legacy of ABWL is really quite auspicious to have had the opportunity to serve as a president of the organization. Really, there was a lot of groundwork that had been laid before me, and I'm excited about the groundwork that has been laid after my service as president. Really, I want the organization to continue to flourish. Certainly the times that we are living in at the moment suggest that it's going to be harder for young women who look like me to advance in the profession, and all the more reason why we hope that ABWL will continue to make a long-lasting impact in the community, as well as the young women who are looking for guidance and opportunities to pursue this profession and hopefully do as well as we have, or even better. I guess the other thing that really excites me about the future of ABWL is that the young women that are presently serving on our executive board, as well as the new women that they're bringing to the organization, have so many ideas and less limitations than we had, and they really are thinking outside of the box and really want to establish themselves so that they can continue to serve the community, which is really very important to the foundation of ABWL. And I look forward to all the great things that they have to do coming to the future. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Good afternoon. My name is Joan Burke. I was the 17th president of ABWL. When you educate a woman, it is said you educate the world. I'm exceedingly proud of the Association of Black Women Lawyers and being president. During my tenure, which is over a 3-year period, I did many things. The 3 things that I think I could say that I was most proud of is the school program, taking in attorneys into various schools throughout the state of New Jersey, from Newark to Camden. And it was always interesting. We bring in just women lawyers, and you find students who are saying they knew about lawyers but never saw women lawyers, particularly Black women lawyers. We did the joint program with the Garden State Bar Association, and we did that once in November. And third, my greatest achievement, I think, is creating the Inn of Court, our Inn of Court, which was made to serve both the Garden State Bar Association and the Association of Black Women Lawyers. It is my hope that as women, we continue the Association of Black Women Lawyers and reach out to younger women that are coming in to train them to continue with this association. We are the oldest and we continue to stand tall. I wish everyone success and congratulations again on 50 years of serving the legal community. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Esther Canty Barnes, and I was president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers from 1989 to 1991. When I became president, the groundwork by the Task Force on Minority Concerns had already been developed to ensure that the voice of ABWL and women of color in particular was heard. I participated in meetings that was scheduled by then Chief Justice Wilentz and testified at hearings that were being held across the state by the Task Force on Minority Concerns. As a result of my testimony, I was quoted extensively in the Task Force's 1992 final report. The leaders of the Minority Bar also began to come together to plan programs on such topics as bias in the courtroom and to highlight the accomplishments of judges of color. We also advocated with the New Jersey State Bar Association to include minority representation in order to have a voice in the New Jersey State Bar. This work led me to serve on the New Jersey Committee on Women, where I was appointed the first chair of the subcommittee on women of color. I worked to convince the committee and the judiciary of the importance of the survey on women of color in the courts, since what had already been completed, focusing on women in general. Although we faced certain obstacles, we conducted several focus groups. ABWL played an integral role in providing feedback and disseminating the survey. Judges of color also played an integral role from their position on the bench. The survey was finally published in 2009, entitled Survey on the Perception of Race and Gender in the Courts. This led to additional programs in New Jersey focusing on equal access to justice, trailblazing women of color, and highlighting the accomplishments of women of color in general. Since my initial involvement with ABWL, the population of female attorneys of color has grown tremendously. Young women exiting law school play an important role. They need mentorship and guidance into this difficult work. ABWL has taken on this responsibility, and I applaud the work that ABWL has done and continues to do in this world.
Hello, my name is Lori Kaufman, and I am one of the honored past presidents of the Association of Black Women Lawyers. My particular term starts in between the Honorable Geraldine Urey, and I am followed by the Honorable Carolyn Chang. During my year, which consisted of 2016, It was a time of the ending of a wonderful time in America. We were closing out the presidency of Barack Obama, and we were in the election season for a major woman candidate being Hillary Clinton, and a person that was coming on the scene strong, Donald Trump. Of course, now we know that Donald Trump was elected in the election of 2016. That year was full of all sorts of turmoil, I guess you would say, all sorts of shootings, bombings. The Pulse nightclub was during that time. It was just one of complete, I guess you could say, the chaos that was going to become our lives. But we soldiered on anyway. The association worked on increasing the number of women that would be able to hold office. We worked on making sure we worked with law students. We gave scholarships to students. We did that work in the community that is so desperately needed then and still needed now. My term, I like to say, was focused around us and the sisterhood, working on supporting each other as we engaged in various different things throughout the year. One of the reasons I like the Association of Black Women Lawyers, it is focused on women and, of course, Black women and our unique needs in the legal firm and the legal world, I should say. Our women members that became judges, our women members became prosecutors, just our women leaders elected. We were all in that. We celebrated each other in that. I've made some wonderful, wonderful friendships, and the ladies have been more than supportive of my life, and I've watched us support others. I've watched us with our children. I didn't have any, but I still call all the children my children. I watched us with our parents, our mothers that came to the association member meetings. In fact, my year, I had my mother with me. I had lost my father, and I took my mother with me everywhere. And the ladies were more than supportive, more than loving, and my mother enjoyed every time she got to interact with us. So that's my memory. And what I want to say to the new leadership and younger members that come on, we must stay united as we engage in this world. The reason the association was started is just as important as it is now. Those reasons, unfortunately, have not abated. They've continued. It appears that there is a target on Black women in today's world, and we must work around that. We must work to increase our numbers. We must increase our numbers of successful women attorneys, however we view that success. And so that's what I would like to say to the incoming group. I'm here to support you. I'm here to uplift you when you need it. I'm here if you just want to cry on my shoulder. I've been there, and all I would say is, I got your back, girl.
My name is Teresa Andrews. I was president of the ABWL from 1991 to 1992. ABWL has consistently been the voice of its membership, its communities, and representation before the bar associations and the court. In 1991, the Monmouth County Bar Association performed a blackface skit involving Anita Hill. We sent a letter in protest to the bar president. The president responded with an apology. After my presidency, I initiated the Judge Weeks Past President Award. I'm excited to see how it has flourished throughout the years. I'm looking forward to the past presidents continuing to provide contribution and support to the president of the ABWL
its executive board, its membership, and its communities. I am thrilled with the young attorneys that are coming forward, and we know that you will be excellent in what you do and provide and be the voice of your time. Thank you.
I'm Sharon Price Cates, and I was privileged to be the 16th president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. And during my administration, I previously had the opportunity to also serve as vice president. At that time, that position was the program chair for the association, and to hold some other offices and work on other committees. So by the time I was president, I had the opportunity to build from some of the programming that we had been able to accomplish in the couple of years before I actually took the role of president. Just sort of generally in thinking about that period of time, one of the areas that I wanted us to continue to grow in and strengthen was our connections to communities of color and to build collaborations with community organizations to carry out some of our programming. And one that really stands out in my mind as being very important to me at that time was working with school systems and increasing ABWL's presence in schools beyond the occasional one or two members being invited to speak, but to work and collaborate with the school systems and other organizations that also were like-minded, who wanted to actually do programming in public schools. And we were very fortunate to find partners to be able to do programming for both half-day and full-day programs in a number of schools in both urban areas and some new experiences in suburban, type areas because of relationships of some of our members.
My name is Elronda Williams Alston, and I had the pleasure of serving as the president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey from 2011 to 2012. I truly appreciated my time as president, and I appreciate the years that I've been in the association. I have been a member of ABWL since 1988, when then President Esther Canty Barnes used to pick me up from my parents' house and bring me to the meetings. ABWL is near and dear to me because we are a link to our communities, not only community of lawyers and judges and courts, but also we are a link to our churches, to our houses of worship, to our families and our extended communities. During my administration, my theme was reaching back as we rise. We've been given the unique opportunity to serve as attorneys. That's not something that everyone gets an opportunity to do, and it is a great responsibility. So therefore, my administration was keen on giving back to our communities. We held many workshops and forums in various churches and community centers where we would bring the information to the people. Just as we're doing today, we did it then. We did workshops on real estate investments, real estate planning, and estate planning, because those are tools that our community needed. We also engaged in having significant programs where we talked about the law. Under my administration, one of my favorite ones is when we did the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, better known as the Negro Bill of Rights, because we believe that people need to know where they come from so that we don't make the same mistakes. We learn from what we've done and that we can grow and move forward in the future. And when we talk about the future, I'd just like to say in 2011, it was a novel idea to have a website. We take it for granted today. And now ABWL has a beautiful website, an interactive website. But under my administration, it was the second year that we were actually having a website, and we had a web mistress, and we had to figure out how to make it all work because we want to be on the cutting edge of technology to make sure that the law goes where technology goes. So I just want to say welcome. Welcome, welcome to our 50th year of doing wonderful things in the bench and bar. Welcome to the new attorneys who are becoming a part of us. Welcome to those who will use our services. Welcome to the children who look up to us when we go to our Law Day programs that we host in all 3 counties. Welcome to people who want to be in an environment where we know that we have the opportunity to be heard, to have our grievances heard, and to have our needs addressed by people that we've helped to put in place. So to that, I say, happy anniversary, ABWL. I wish you 50 times 50 more years of wonderful things that you'll do for our community, for the bench and for the bar, and for each other. Congratulations.
Greetings. I am Lisa Hendricks Richardson, the 21st President of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. ABWL is important as it provides a platform for the Black community to learn about the legal profession, as well as its legal rights and resources available to the community. As president of the association, I felt it very important to impart to the young Black female attorneys the importance of work-life balance, that family and self-care were very important for their success in the profession. By my experience in the firm of Richardson, Stevens, Powell, and Carter in 1988, along with Rhonda Pope Stevens, Vanessa Williams Powell, and Linda McDonald Carter, we formed the largest Black women's law firm in New Jersey and created that firm in our community in Newark. So we were considered a community-based law firm. However, for those attorneys who chose to work in New Jersey's large legacy law firms, ABWL provided a soft landing, a shoulder to cry on, to discuss inherent microaggression often found in these law firms. One of my most endearing endeavors for the association was prior to becoming the president, when I hosted and chaired our annual jazz brunch entitled God Bless the Child That Has Her Own. We thank the association for providing a platform and a forum in which Black businesses could be spotlighted and heralded, and that we look to the history of our forefathers and foremothers when they created their own businesses, which again is near and dear to me. So in this 50th year, I thank the association, I thank my sisters in the law, I thank the community that has supported us, and I thank you for coming to this gala and supporting our 50th gala. And God bless you all. Have a good night and enjoy.
Good evening. I'm Cameron Hinton, and I was the 27th president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. My term years were from 2018 to 2019. What I am most proud of from my presidency was our initiative to enhance our communication channels so that our members were receiving the most promotion possible. Our members are astounding members of the community. They provide services that are legal in nature, but also speak to the heart of their ability to meet whatever needs are necessary for those that they love and the communities in which they are a member. And I wanted to ensure that ABWL was not only a place for fellowship for them, but also a resource in which they could gain more opportunity for themselves, whether it be in business or whether it be a means of creating programs that they wanted to ensure were activated to serve their communities. So ensuring that our communication channels, as well as our ability to shine a light on all of the abilities of our members, was essential to me. I wanted to ensure that for all our members were pouring into this organization, they were receiving a return that otherwise benefited their lives and their professional development and advancement. And I'm really proud that we were able to enhance our website, launch a new interactive website with content that promoted the work that our members were doing, as well as promote a newsletter in which we made sure to spotlight members on at least a monthly basis so that our community, our associates, our members knew what the good work that we were achieving was, and so that they knew they had connections for any means of law that they wanted to pursue or were in need of a specialist, as well as understanding that ABWL was a partner in the community. And I'm really proud that we were able to establish those channels and that they're still thriving, and that also we became a staple in providing program to the legal community. So our substantive legal abilities were also in the spotlight. And this became especially important when the pandemic hit, and we were able to continue to thrive as an organization, conducting our meetings and our special programs all via virtual platforms. And we essentially didn't miss a step. And I'm really proud that we are still here thriving, and that all of my mentors, past presidents and members alike, are here with us this evening, and that 50 years I've been able to be a part of just the past 10, but I'm certainly looking forward to several more decades with ABWLNJ and continuing to build on this wonderful legacy. Have a great evening.
Greetings. I am attorney Norma R. Evans, and I served as the 28th president of ABWL. My administration's theme, Poised to Lead, was an impactful success. As an illustration of my administration's accomplishments, 5 members were appointed to the bench, and history was made when the first Black woman was nominated to serve on the New Jersey Supreme Court. Little did we know that towards the end of my administration, we would be called upon to lead in an extraordinary way. We partnered with a host of affinity bar associations, civic and social groups to decry the killing of George Floyd. Also, during that time, the disproportionate impact of the COVID-19 pandemic among Black people exposed the historical divestment in our communities. Disparities in access to health care and other preventative resources were amplified. ABWL advocated for an end to the disparities that contributed to so many COVID-19 deaths in the Black community. As Black women attorneys, we offered our legal expertise to address this growing crisis. Serving as the president of this esteemed organization during a critical time in our nation's history was truly an honor. Thank you and congratulations on 50 years of legal excellence among Black women.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Narlene Casimir. I am the 32nd president of the Association of Black Women Lawyers of New Jersey. I am pleased to welcome you to our 50th anniversary celebration. ABWL means a great deal to me because it is through this organization that I've met wonderful Black women attorneys who are pioneers and have become my mentors. They've paved the way to me being the attorney I am today, and I am immensely grateful to them. I joined ABWL in 2015 under the leadership of the Honorable Geraldine Urey. During that term, Classy Colonet, Alicia Washington, Cameron Hinton, and I were founding members of the association's Young Lawyers Division. We held events and meetings that were geared towards the mentoring needs of those who were new to the profession. We also created the Law Student Forum, our signature event, where we aimed to engage with law students and ensure that their mentorship in the legal profession started as they were working toward their Juris Doctorate. The event had a resume competition and review component that had an increased callbacks and interviews as well as job offers. As an executive board member, I served 2 terms as secretary, 4 terms as treasurer, before assuming the position of president-elect and ultimately president for the 2023-2024 term. One of the main focuses of my presidency was to increase visibility by holding events that supported the professional development of our members while edifying the public. Thus, we held events discussing domestic violence, the concept of the glass cliff, emergency preparedness, the pillar of law and water. We also worked collaboratively with the affinity bars as well as county bar associations and other community organizations to co-sponsor events providing continued legal education credits to our members. We participated in job fairs, Know Your Right forums, a March of Die 5K run/walk, and more. We also held networking and social mixers. Along with New Jersey ESPR, New Jersey's African American STEM Society, we co-sponsored one of the U.S. Postal Service's Black Heritage Forever STEM dedication event honoring Judge Constance Baker Motley. She was the first African American woman to argue before the United States Supreme Court, the first African American woman to become a federal judge, and the first keynote speaker at ABWL Scholarship Jazz Brunch. We also commenced the efforts that would lead to the swearing in before the United States Supreme Court of members of the association's Young Lawyers Division, as well as members of the Haitian American Lawyers Association of New York on February 26, 2025. Many of our events were attended by individuals who heard of them through press releases and social media. My hopes and dreams are to see ABWL continue to flourish as an organization where Black women lawyers can find the support to excel professionally, where members of the community know who we are and turn to us for their legal needs. I also would like to see a robust Young Lawyers Division that continues to pump new blood into the organization. Thank you very much. Again, it is a pleasure to celebrate with you, and I hope you enjoy your evening.
Hello, I am Elijah Ford, and I am the immediate past president of ABWL&J with the term year of 2024 to 2025. My term was largely focused on re-engagement and publicity. I worked to bridge our membership, taking lessons from our seasoned members while incorporating thoughts and ideas from our young lawyers and law students. We have had PJ vision board parties and mixers where fun and fellowship were at the forefront, because as Black women, especially as lawyers, we have to remember to breathe and release in safe spaces as much as possible. We also hosted an event called What It Takes to Cultivate and Sustain Black Law Firms, which was about entrepreneurship and community building. This past year, while working to expand the statewide and national branding of ABWL, we were able to open a domestic violence legal clinic within the city of Newark, led by Mayor Roz Baraka at the Shani Baraka Women's Resource Center. There, along with my law partner, President Donette Brown, and ABWL volunteer attorneys, we are able to educate and advise DV survivors each month on legal issues. Further, during this term, we were recertified as an affiliate chapter of the National Bar Association, and I currently represent ABWL&J as an affiliate president representative on the 2025-2026 Board of Governors. We have a voting seat at the table, y'all. Additionally, this term we were able to host 16 ABWL members down to DC to get sworn into the Supreme Court of the United States by our movement past President Paulette Brown. Justice Jackson attended our breakfast and was gracious enough to share some encouraging words, as well as many of our past presidents and our sponsors, it was just a great moment to all be together. Finally, we held our first prayer scholarship breakfast this spring, awarding scholarships to several amazing law students, which is a fundamental part of our mission. Without ABWL, the support, the sisterhood, the scolding at times, I know I would not be where I am today as a woman, as a working mother, or as an attorney. Women supporting women is a way of life, and this organization lives that mantra every single day. I encourage you all to continue to support ABWL and continue to be the change, especially during these trying times. All I can say is thank you, ABWL.
As a past president of ABWL, I believe we need the strength and leadership of this organization now more than ever. My comments in the following video are not just a walk down memory lane, they are a glimpse into the future. One of the things that inspired me, both as a forensic scientist and in the legal profession, is the ability to help people, people who are unable to help themselves. And I draw that from my experiences in growing up in Birmingham, Alabama, where my people, me included, were mistreated and not treated fairly. And that led me to develop a strong sensitivity, compassion for those persons who are mistreated, who are underserved, who are falsely accused, who are tried and convicted unfairly and unjustly. So it's very inspiring to me because I believe that both of those professions provide a vehicle where those persons that need help can be helped. One that my mother repeated to me over and over when I was growing up, and it provided the seeds for a foundation for success. And she would always say, if a task is once begun, never leave it till it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all. And I followed that advice, and I found that if I started something and kept with it and did my very best, that I was successful. I am deeply honored and humbled to be in the company of all of today's honorees. And to the next generation of ABWL leaders, the task has begun. Never leave it
till it's done.
During that time period, we were experiencing the lack of minority women, particularly black women, in judiciary positions as well as in legal positions. Also, we were having a problem with the newly graduated students from passing the bar examination in New Jersey. Plus, it was difficult for newly admitted attorneys to find first-time jobs as well as second-time jobs in corporations, in government, and in private industry. We were able to coalesce and put together the organization and reach out to law students in the 3 law schools in New Jersey. For the future is that we continue to have more graduates from the law schools and more passage of the bar examination by our newly graduated students is most important. In addition, we have to find new ways to obtain first and second time jobs for